you're truly about it, you're truly trying your absolute best, you're going to do it. And that's what I believe. I believe the universe is extremely giving. So when I meet somebody and they go, I really wanted this and I don't have it, I say, you didn't really want it. You're a liar. You're saying people look on social media and they get jealous and it demotivates them. That's because they decide to be demotivated by it. Do you know what happens when I get jealous of somebody? Please understand me. When I was broke, I couldn't sleep.
I'm proud, 25 and I gotta be the man now. I've been tucked, but it's time for me to stand out.
What's concerning to me is that...
All right, guys, welcome back to another video. Now, guys, I know you guys have seen the title of this video, so we're gonna get straight into it. So you guys know for a while I've been following Andrew Tate, and I really resonate with a lot of stuff he says, but there's also things that I don't agree with. So you know what? This interview was so golden. He did an interview with the Nelk boys. Like, I watch a lot of Andrew Tate's podcast, and I want to show you guys why. I want to show you why this is so fascinating. You know, I want to show you what I don't agree with and what I agree with. So let's just get right into it.
Do you feel like you're the only guy that can, like, overcome this cancellation? Because nobody else has been able to.
Well, it's kind of like the 4-minute mile. I don't even know the story of the 4-minute mile, but when everyone was running, long distance running, everyone said a 4-minute mile was impossible. And everyone was...
I heard this story, by the way. Good story. Yeah.
Everyone was attempting it. It was impossible. And then one guy did it one day. And after he did it, 10 people did it in like 3 weeks. Yeah. And it's like the belief. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of people when they're canceled go, I'm done. Now, nobody else has my, I will sit here and openly say my network and the things I do and the unique way I approach it and the war room and the organization I have and the money I have and the influence I have is unique. Most people don't have that. However, people will have the morale to go, I've been canceled, but you know what? I'm not quitting. Doesn't matter. I'm not giving up. All right, just make a new account. Bang, back to work, back to work, back to work. And on a long enough scale, if enough people do that, there will be inertia and momentum behind it, which will make a shift in the universe. It will attack the matrix in real time. It's belief.
I have a question.
Believe. You must believe.
I believe in you.
You must. No, but you must believe.
I fucking believe in you, bro.
That's Andrew. The key.
I want to pause that. You see, this is in the mindset of Andrew Tate. Like, how could someone like me not be motivated when I watch something like that? And the reason why I wanted to do this video as well, because I don't want this to go over your heads. Listen to what he's saying. That belief. A lot of people getting canceled, doing what's happened to him would be like, bro, like they're taking everything. Imagine your payment, your bank, everything. But it's that belief. Did you see what he said? The belief is the key. You have to believe in yourself.
Because belief in self is the highest level of intelligence. Before I can go believe in anything else.
Anyway, let me just keep it going.
Where did you develop this stuff? Like, where in your life did you start to develop this? Like, at what point were you like, this is the person that I am? Was it something like your father taught you? I know you had some stuff there. I know he passed away, but like, how did you develop the person that you are, the human that you are? Because obviously it happens over time. But like, what were the major key points in your life? You're like, oh shit, I'm starting to realize this is what's very important for me, right?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I'm not sure I know the answer completely and utterly. My entire life, I've always woken up thinking or feeling like I had an enemy to fight against. As long as I can remember, I've always had. I was a professional chess player when I was a kid. So when I was 4, I woke up and my dad was sitting there saying, you're playing this Chinese kid, he's good, right? So I always had that. Then I had professional fighting. I had 87 fights. So my whole life I had some fight coming up. And now I wake up and the matrix is attacking me. So I've always woken up feeling like I had an enemy. Mm-hmm. And that certainly shaped my reality. It definitely shapes how I act and shapes how I think. I've always felt like I was in war, if that makes sense.
Have you ever felt like you were your own worst enemy?
No, in fact, quite the opposite. I've had a healthy fear and respect for all of my enemies to the point where I've understood the only chance I stand to beat them is to have as many allies as possible, and the most important ally is my own mind.
Don't let this stuff go over your head. That was very important what you just said there. Very important. Listen.
I have enough people who dislike me that I don't have the luxury of doubting myself. So even at the height of the cancellation.
Nah, I don't have the luxury of doubting myself. Do you know how many times in life we get opportunities or we're going through things on our journey of becoming great, of escaping the matrix, and a lot of people become their worst enemies. They become their own worst enemies. Their mind turns against them. And it's because, you see, he said it. He was doing chess when he was a little kid. So he's always been in competition. And one thing I can tell you about competition, to be the best, you need to be in control of your mind. Your mind has to be your #1 ally. When I'm doing this YouTube, when I'm out on the field, whatever you're doing in life, your mind has to be on your side. It has to be you 100%. But a lot of times in life, that's not the case. A lot of times in life, we doubt ourselves. But no, you don't have the luxury to doubt yourself. Take his mindset and adapt it to your life. I don't have the luxury to doubt myself. I know everything I'm going to do is going to be great, or I'm going to learn from it. Let's keep it going.
When they were coming at me with everything, and I haven't even told you some of the stuff they come at me with. I'm about to tell you, and it's a lot more scary than getting deleted from Instagram.
Sure.
When they were coming at me, absolutely. Even the people close to me are going, you're dealing with this well. And I was like, I have now innumerable shadow figures trying to destroy me. If my brain betrays me, I'm really fucked, right? Like I can't go down that path. So
Facts.
completely the utter opposite. I've galvanized myself against internal enemies. Me and every single part of me is all on the same team. And it always will be. America's just not a place I feel an affinity to. I'm not really interested in. And it's the seat of most of this garbage. It's the seat of the satanic garbage, which is being inflicted on the world. We're in a war of good versus evil. And if you look at some of the most degenerate things on the internet or on TV or things that are happening in the world today, they are coming from the United States. So I just don't really want to go there. I just don't feel an affinity to the place.
I feel what he's saying. I'm someone who I love going to the States. You know, I really love a lot of things about it. But a lot of negativity, a lot of stuff that you do see, those come from the States. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to lie. I agree with that. We're watching the World Cup now. I was like, Eve, do you know in Doha, there's no crime? You know, in places like Doha, you don't see, there's no robberies, like people, because of their law, you know, they live in a very religious way, and that's debatable, or whatever the case may be. What I respect about countries like Doha, and in the spite of everything that's happening, is that they have their law, they have their society, they have their culture, and they don't bend or break to that. A lot of places like America, you see that happens, you know what I mean? So that's just very interesting for me. But anyway, let's keep going.
Like, if you were to look up the most crazy shit, it's some American every single time. Some 6-year-old decides he wants to do something. Decides he's this. Shootings, murders. It's just like, why do I want to go? What's there? Like, there's Lambo garages and nightclubs here. Like, what is there in America? Relationships between men and women are such a large part of being a man and the male experience. And I also think that nearly every man, no matter who you are, whether all of us sitting here or everyone watching at home, has had a fairly similar life path. We've all grown up, fell in love with that bitch in school. She wouldn't fuck, she fucked someone else, fell in love with her first girlfriend, she cheated, heartbroken, whatever. We've all had a similar story, right? So
I can't speak to that experience, but what I will say is I've always been the type of person, like, women fall in love with me. I mean, of course, like, look at me, but no, honestly, like, there was times when I was out in Europe, I wasn't earning much money. Like, times was hard, like struggling, like trying to get my mom to help me pay rent. You know what I mean? Like, going through things in life, right? And so, you know, on this journey, you meet women. So, like, I just never had my heart broken. I never really been played by women. And I think it's just because I've always been different since I was younger. Those ages, I've always been mission driven and mission focused and purpose focused. I never chased being in a relationship. But one thing I found is women always fell in love with me. Women always fell in love with my mindset. Like, this guy had nothing to offer us. I didn't have many things I could offer them. I was a boring boyfriend. I just like staying home watching football. What I noticed is when women would come around us, they fall in love. I never been in a position where I've had my heart broken. Like, it's always the other way around, and I don't mean to say that in a positive way. So I can't really speak of the common male experience in that aspect. I was lucky enough to live with an OG and a real G in like Richie. So I kind of learned the game, and I learned the game young. So I never really been in this position, but he's right.
Right? So we all have an affinity to it. And I think that your relationship with women as a man is one of the most important things you're going to go through in your life. If you look at a man who's truly content and truly happy, he has a good relationship with women.
Facts. 100% agree with that. Women in general, not even women that you're sleeping with or whatever the case may be, whether it's your mother, you know, your relative, someone who gets along with women has a good life. I agree with that.
And if you ever look at a man who's miserable, he might have all the money in the world, but his wife doesn't like him, and he's miserable anyway.
Women in general, or one woman?
No, but I'm saying it's such an important part of the masculine experience. It's hard to talk about positivity and masculine values and how to approach life and never mention relationships with women ever.
So have you been through something like that with a woman?
No, everyone's had like girlfriends they broke up with and missed, and do
you have any?
Nah, not me.
Do you have any specific stories of yours in your love life that kind of like?
And I'm not even saying this to stunt or try to act cool. I'm just a different breed. I'm an alien, so I never really gone through that. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of niggas have.
80% of the questions are, my bitch doesn't like me anymore. Why? And I'm like, because you're a fucking loser. And I have to give them the answer.
But do you give them advice on how to change it?
Yeah, yes, I do. I tell them the truth.
How do you define a loser though? Just like a bum?
My basic message, which has been largely misunderstood, is people always sit and say, Tate says all these crazy things about girls and da-da-da-da. And I say that I can only speak from my experience, and I am not naive. I understand that I'm living a very unique masculine experience, and it's a top tier one. Mm-hmm. And I can't imagine living life as a man any other way. And as a man, you need to get up and work hard and become a top tier male, or your life's going to suck. That's basically what my message is.
Facts. I mean, how can you not agree with that?
When Joe Schmo comes and says, I'm Joe Schmo, I'm not you, what do I do? And I say, I don't know, because if your bitch will fuck Joe Schmo, then that means Joe Schmo's your competition. Now you gotta worry about the guy in KFC, bro. Like, she'll fuck anybody because she's fucking you and you're a loser.
Okay, so one thing I don't agree with is, and I get what he's saying, I could be in whatever situation I'm in, but I ain't worried about no other people. But I do have that drive and that ambition and that elevation to be like, I'm my own competition, so I need to freaking work or I'm living this top tier experience.
So you got to stop being a loser and get a bitch who doesn't fuck losers. So what do you want me to do?
What do you think about a stay-at-home dad and
All right, this is a good question, and I want you guys to tune in.
and the wife works?
I think if that makes him happy and they're a happy couple, then that's what they should do. I can also sit here and say that I don't think that that will be a happy couple dynamic for very long. I don't think it will last long. That's my personal view. I think
Sonny's
that
thinking about
The
doing
mom's
that.
getting slammed in the office.
I don't think I
and
can
shit.
marry.
So I really love that question. You know, he's talking about stay-at-home dads. Now, I have a podcast now, guys, so I just dropped a video, and my dad talks about him being a stay-at-home dad when he came to Australia. Now, in Africa, it's obviously different. The man is the provider, so that is very uncommon. I couldn't even believe it, like hearing our story coming from Africa and migrating over to Australia as first-generation African immigrants, right? And I found that very interesting, and we're going to go on more about this, but I was like, man, my parents really beat the Matrix. Now, think about what I'm just saying. You know, the way the Matrix wants us to run, the way the government wants is they want two parents working. They want two parents working so the kids don't spend as much time with their parents. Obviously, back in those days, it was easier for us to connect without social media, but that's the way the Matrix gets kids. That's how it makes slaves' minds, to separate the parents and getting core values from their parents, right? So my dad was a stay-at-home dad. I'm gonna play the clip from my dad right here.
4 years. Yes, looking after you.
You were stay-at-home dad.
Yes, I will stay home. Me, a man, have to work. But I was looking, why didn't to go to struggle working more? And if my wife should get a good job, so that is a simple decision. So, but other people say, no, I am a man, I have to work because African is what they say. Give connection with your kids.
Yo guys, real quick, don't kill me. I know you're enjoying the episode, but this video is sponsored by Fanatics. Now guys, look at me. Look at the drip. You see, it's World Cup season, so you guys can go right now. It's 70% off. They have deals every single day, so it could be 80% off tomorrow, 65 the next day. Guys, there's deals every single day. A lot of you guys have been copping Fanatics merch. Good on you. A lot of you guys have been sleeping. Guys, you guys can cop this merch straight at Fanatics. While you're watching this episode, you can go head over to the link. It's going to take you directly there. You don't need to do anything. While you're watching this video, hit the link. You're going to find anything you want. You see, I'm rocking a vintage Socceroos training football jersey. Whatever team you're supporting in the World Cup, go and cop your merch. Even if you don't like the World Cup, even if you ain't watching NBA jerseys, there's NFL jerseys. Guys, there is so much drip at such a good discount. So please, do yourself a favor, go copy some merch. Look at the way I'm dressed. Look at me. It's for women, it's for man them, it is for everyone. If you want to be fly like me, go copy some Fanatics. Hit that link in the description right now. All right, let's get back to the video. Like for those 4 years, it worked for my parents because my dad's like, all right, cool, your mom's got a good job. Let me just work part-time and be with my kids. Let me invest in my children. Let me spend time with my children. Like I remember having talks with my dad, you know, we'd be in the whip. He'd be telling me like, hey, Eve, and I'm seeing like my dad's my hero. He's telling me, Eve, you don't want to be like me. And I'm like, what do you mean, Dad? He's like, look, like I'm doing these jobs or I'm going and working at a petrol station. You don't want to be doing this. You want to be better than me. You know, so it's like, I had that valuable time with my dad. Certain things that he'd say that I still live by today that keeps me elevating, it keeps me growing, it keeps me focused. You know what I mean? If I didn't have that time, if maybe they were both getting jobs, it would have been hard. My parents escaped the Matrix, and I'm about to show you in a bit more why.
I'm not saying that people shouldn't do that if that makes them happy, whether it's the man or the woman. Everyone should live and do whatever makes them happy. I'm saying that I don't think that relationship will last long because I don't think a woman would be happy providing for a man on the long term.
He did it obviously for 4 years, but I'd say when I was getting to 14, 15, 16, you know, those teenage years, and I could do things for myself, a lot of those things stopped. Like dad's like, all right, cool, you guys are going out into the world, you're 14, you're 15, I can't take you to training, I got work, you go and take public transport, you go and learn, like, you know what I'm saying? I remember coming late and taking 3 different buses, but that helped me to be self-sufficient. It helped me when I went over to Europe and different countries, you know, going places by myself. I was focused, I was driven. That was what I needed. But as he's saying, that obviously that won't last for a long time, but it's as long as that makes that couple happy. It's as long as what works for them as a couple and building an empire. I don't think too many couples that we have in this world are focused on being on a winning team. And what I mean by that is building an empire. You feel me? Building a legacy. People think too short term. Anyway, let's listen to what he's saying.
That's my personal view. I'll say that some people sit there and go, that's misogynist. Some women work hard. I'm not saying some women don't work hard. I'm not saying that some couples won't work. I'm talking about as a generalization. In general, I think that couple dynamic, I don't see that working in the long term. That's my point.
Fact.
Sorry, world. Attack me. Wait to cancel me again.
What
Go
really,
ahead, Brad.
Yeah. What really makes you happy now, right now?
Hanging with your boys is the funnest thing to do, though.
Huh?
Hanging with your boys is the funnest thing to do.
Yeah.
No matter how much money you have, it's still always going to be the
Always the best.
There's nothing else to do.
One thing I want to say about that real quick, I'll never forget. I've had so many amazing moments in my life chasing this dream. That's why I always tell people, go out with your heart, like go into the unknown, right? So I'm with my homies, no matter the situation, and I can't wait until we're wealthy. I can't wait until we're all living that top tier experience. We can then reconnect with all my partners, all the people I spend. But hanging out with the mandem is the best, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, hanging out with your boys, going, living life, doing things. Like, I've had so many amazing experiences, and it's like I can't wait to have even better ones. But he's right, bro. Like, as a man, you know, and you're going into this life, having dope friends to make dope memories with and just kick it, you feel me? It's dope.
Hanging with your boys and talking shit and laughing is always going to be the peak human experience.
Yeah, well, once you have
Playing FIFA sometimes.
where do you go from that? Like you get more.
You just
shit,
need-
more
I
shit,
think-
How
more
many
shit.
close boys do you have?
Yeah.
Like you, Tristan, who else?
2, 3.
Tristan, you want to come in here?
You don't want to come on here? No, he's good.
Hanging with your boys is always going to be the peak thing. It doesn't matter if I have $100 million or I have $10. I'll be still sitting with Tristan laughing. That's
have you-
always going to be the funnest
Have
thing
you
to
guys
do.
been like that since you were born?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that taught to you, or it's just like a bond?
It was semi-taught to us. We tried to fight when we were a kid, and our dad wouldn't have it.
Fuck yeah.
He was like, "No,
What do you?
the world's out to get
I
you
think
boys. You're on
people.
the same
I think
team."
there's a lot of people that don't understand the importance of like getting along with your relatives, and that's something that you guys show. I think people envy.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you have a brother, the idea is that you make your best friend possible out of him, right? Why else would you have a brother?
No, but I think there's a lot of like families that lack that.
Guys, this is a very important message he's about to say. Very important message. I want you guys to listen.
That lack that.
But this is the thing, and this is where I'm about to get. I need to shut up, man. I'm about to say some shit.
Nah, go on.
They want to get rid of the family.
No, I can go down a whole bunch of
Oh,
tangents.
that's
That's true though.
Yeah.
But I can
It's facts, they do.
go down a whole bunch of tangents. But in my experience, these shorts are so small. 1 second.
This nigga, man.
In my experience, I have a lot of guys who come and say, "I'm not as close with my brother as you and Tristan. I want to be as close. Why are we not as close as you and your brother are?" And and 95% of the time, the answer is because of chicks. No, because you have two brothers growing up. They hit puberty, whatever. They both get different girlfriends. They move in with their girl, or their girl doesn't like them rolling with their brother because they're always out doing man shit, and their girl slightly isolates them to a degree, or their chick doesn't like his chick, or whatever. There's some chick involvement. So if you want to truly have a close relationship with your brother or your friends, you need to have a relationship with them where you sit and say, "All right, cool." Me and Tristan have done this multiple times. We've had girls sit there and go, "I don't like your brother." That's a problem because
This is so true. Family. There's not important, and not even more about family. Having your brother, having the people beside you, staying close to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the world's out to get you, who will you have? You have your siblings. Now, it doesn't even have to be necessarily your brother. You have maybe someone else, other people in your life you consider your brother. Stick with those people. You know what I mean? Like, that's what life's about. It's about bonding. I told my girl, I said, if my cousin would have came and told me he didn't like you, I would have broken up with you. And I don't mean to say she has to get along with everyone in my family, because I mean, shit, that's not possible. But the people who are closest to me, there's no other option. It's like, I love you, you're my partner, but listen, this is my brother. These are the people who will always be beside me. They were here before you. They'll always be here no matter the situation. So you got to learn to live with that. And obviously, if that's your partner, if that's someone who really loves you, they're gonna learn, because this is very true. Being with the people who are closest to you is what's important in life.
But most people won't do that. Most people will be like, "Well, why?" "Well, yeah, he was a bit rude to you, I guess." "Okay, we won't go over there tonight. Please suck me off."
This guy's funny, bro.
You have to make a choice.
That is very true.
It's true, bro.
It's true.
You have to make a decision, and we always made the decision to put our
It's
brotherhood
actually a
above
good point.
everything
I never
else.
thought about that.
One thing I do want to say, like, I'll give you guys a quick story, right? I was talking with my brother and them things there, and we were planning a little trip and things. And I was just like, my brother was like, "Hey, like, Eve, let me come stay with you." And then I was kind of like, "Nah, but I'm gonna be with my shorty. Like, I kind of want that alone time." I was just thinking maybe from a selfish point of view. And my mom slapped me. She was like, "Eve, what are you talking about? Like, that's your brother. Not only can you save money, but you guys can be together. You spend time, like, your girl can get along." And I was like, "Facts. That's right. Like, that's wrong with me." You know what I'm saying? Like, and of course, like my wife, my shorty, she cool with that because that's the family, and that's what's important. Get you someone who understands family, like, and that's why when I talk about even getting in a relationship with women, also see how a woman treats her family, see how she's close with her family. That's a very important thing. You don't just get into a relationship with any shorty. That's why a lot of you guys get heartbroken and you discover things and stuff like this happens, is because you don't really go and see things like that. Family values are so important. So in a partner, I always see like how closely with your family. Like if I tell you something bad about my sibling, what do you say? What's your reaction to that? You feel me? Like, are you gonna come and tell me to be strong with my brother, or are you gonna try and stay? You know what I mean? Those little things there, as men, need to be more mindful of.
And it ties into lots of things. It also ties into economics. I've said this story before, but I'll say it again. When I was growing up in Luton in England, which is a highly Islamic town, there's lots of Muslims who live there. I was friends with some Muslim guys in college, and they used to laugh at me all the time. One of them was like 19, worked in Tesco and had a Ferrari. I was like, bro, how do you have a Ferrari when you work in a fucking, I think he worked in a chicken and chip shop. He worked in like a fast food restaurant and had a Ferrari.
Us.
It's like, how do you have a Ferrari when you work in a fast food restaurant? It's like, because I got 9 brothers and we all work together and we share the car. I was like, okay, but why do you share the car? I said, no, you don't understand. I won't use the racial slurs, but you people, there's you and your 3 brothers. You all grow up, you all decide to get with your girl, you all go pay different rents, you all disappear, all your money gets spread out now, you're taking your girl on holiday and paying a different rents, and you're all separate. Me and my 9 brothers live in one big house. If we meet a woman, she moves into the house. The men are all focused on making money, the women are all looking after us, cooking, cleaning. You got 9 men in the same house trying to pool their incomes. That's why we own the houses you rent from us. It's different. Brotherhood first.
Facts.
You people don't think that way. You fall in love. You fall in love with some bitch and you run off. You go pay her rent.
Sure.
It's like a different mentality, and that's why they win.
I think it's funny because a lot of people that have talked about you say, I agree with a lot of things that he says, but there's those 2 things that I just can't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
That is so true. You see why the Matrix wants this guy cancelled. That is so true. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying everyone has to go live with their brothers or them things there, but he's basically saying stick together.
Hey guys, just real quick, I know you're enjoying the video, we're gonna get back to that, but this video is sponsored by Fanatics. Now guys, the reason I've partnered up with Fanatics is not only do I have custom drip, I look fly, the second thing is I get to save money, and that's what I want to give back to you guys. It's always about giving back to the people who come in and support. So guys, you guys can get awesome merch, NBA, NFL, all type of drip at Fanatics. Hit the link in the description. Now guys, there is deals every single day, 65% off, free shipping. The more you wait, the more deals are going to go missing by you, and this is your chance to really save money and get drip at such a good price. As soon as you finish watching this video, click that link, head over to Fanatics and go copy some merch right now. All right, let's get back to the video.
Not only is family so important, but economically, that's how you build, that's how you grow. That's how I say as a family, like, hey bro, like, hey, even if it's like, let's get this property, let's put money together, let's go buy a home in Africa, let's do things like this, let's build our family. Like, you know, these type of things is what he's talking about. You know, these are the things that are important. And I know at times a lot of people in life, they may have siblings who also maybe don't have the same mindset as them. Maybe you'll have a sibling who be like, no, I want to do this and this and this, and so it's like that can be hard at times. So if you're in that situation, it kind of sucks. You got to learn, all right, cool, always make sure that you're putting in that effort. You feel me? So I think that's very important, because at times not everyone's gonna have siblings who can come and have the same mind and put their egos both down. You know what I mean? Have that belief in each other. If someone says, yo, let me lead, I'll lead. If another brother says, no, I'll lead, I got this, you know, to have that punctuality. But I think it's very important. And even with my podcast, starting it with my dad, that's something that's been cool. Like, hey dad, let's do something together, let's build together. 2 minds work better than one. Like, you do this thing, I'll do this thing, and let's go forward. And that's what we're doing. So it's a very important message.
It doesn't suck, because that's life. I don't expect people to agree with everything I say.
But a lot of things that you do say are very important. So those messages for the younger audience, it sucks that that's not getting taken in, but the bullshit's what they look at.
Well, yeah, they find the little bits that they can use to purport and try and pretend I'm a bad guy, and they amplify them. That's true. But I can't think of anyone else on the internet who I agree with 100% of what they say. There's people I really like. And yeah, we're living in a world now where people are asinine. They have the slave mind. What's interesting is there's a guy who's built a TikTok account, and I think he has like 1 million followers. And what he does is he walks around college campuses asking people if they've heard of me, and then if they like me or not. It's brilliant. So he goes and goes, have you heard of Andrew Tate? And they're like, yeah. Do you like him? No. Why? He's misogynist. Define misogynist. You go,
Yeah.
Whatever, bro. And just what they don't even know why they dislike me.
Yeah.
And it's the slave mind.
Taught to
Yeah, it's
They
conformity.
can't even tell you a quote I've said. What's he said bad about women? He's a piece of shit. They can't answer the questions.
You see what he's saying? This is, again, is so important about life. You see how people have a slave mind. He talks a lot about slave mind, and I think when you really listen and I break things down, you're gonna really resonate with a lot of what he says, and you're gonna see what he's talking about is true, because that's what I've found in society.
So a lot of these people are just slave mind programmed, right?
No
And
girls ever pressed you in public?
zero. Absolutely not a single female in public has ever once said anything negative to me, ever. In fact, quite the opposite. Oh, yeah, I wish there was more men like you, protect, provide, etc. Yeah, people take everything out of context. I've never had a single chick ever mad about anything.
Slave mind. You see, when people were asked about him, they didn't even know why they hated him. It's that mind of like listening to the news, propaganda, like believing everything you've been told.
So earlier I was talking about self-love, and you said earlier about like your brother, and you have all the money, you have all the stuff. What's really important is like the time you spend with basically your loved ones, right? So my thought in life is that the most important thing in life is love, being able to love yourself and love those around you. I wanted to get your opinion on that, because I think more kids, because obviously a lot of kids are going to listen to this and watch this, but I think more people should talk about that idea and how do you find that. I wanted your experience of finding that as a whole.
Yeah, and that's a really good question. And we live in a hateful world, and it's kind of scary. Cancellation as a whole is hateful. It's a hateful act. They'll sit and say, he's so bad. They don't, let's use my example, misogyny. Do you think the people who are attacking me give a single fuck about, do you think any of them donate to women's charities?
No.
Do you think any of them protect women or care about women? No, they just hate me. It's hateful, right? Yeah. So we live in a very, very hateful world. Love comes from a position of strength. I think you always have to be a strong person to love. I think you have to be an intelligent person to love, which is why stupid people are so hateful. And you have to work on yourself, and I think you have to become strong in your body and mind to love things. It's not easy to love things and people when they do you wrong. It's not easy to love a woman again after your last one did whatever. It's not easy to do it. You have to be a strong individual, and that's why.
And I think what he said there is love is intelligent. You know, you could have people in your life that you really love, and like you said, they could do something wrong. Someone close to you may hurt. I'm not saying be stupid or be naive, but have that aspect of, you know what, I still love you at the end of the day. I can look past that. Yes, obviously I'm not going to be an idiot, but I can still always love. You can even love at a distance, but that's very true. Love is intelligence as well.
Why I think love comes from strength, which is why I always say strength is so important mentally and physically. I say that all the time. It's all I talk about. I say that if you're a man, the easiest way to improve your life in every single possible way is to just work on your physical strength and your mental strength to follow, and you become a better person and you can love. You know this yourself. Look at the size of you, right? You go in the gym, it's the biggest guys that are the nicest guys. True or false?
True.
Because they don't have this ego. It's the same. If you walk in a fighter gym, the most deadly dude in there is going to be a nice guy.
And it's interesting how the perception is that you're going to be a bad guy because of the way you look.
Completely.
A lot of things, like the things that you say or the things that you're doing, or like
Fact.
masculine stance that you take, you're a bad guy.
Yep.
And it's just, the whole thing is just crazy to me how it happens. But I really want to emphasize that for the people listening, is like self-love is the most important thing, and being able to give love and share love. Like, what else are we doing all this shit for?
Completely. And you can't pour from an empty cup. And before you give love to anybody else, you have to truly love yourself. And I think the easiest way to love yourself as a man is to be proud of yourself. And to be proud of yourself, you have to decide who you want to be inside of the metaverse, inside of the matrix. You have to decide the character you want to be and try your best to achieve it.
Why do you think people struggle with being?
Love who you want to be. You know, for me, I fall in love with myself every single day. Every single day I'll sit back, and after all the work, after everything I'm doing, and I say, Eve, I love you, like you're one of a kind. Indulging more in my self-love has made me feel better. Like, I walk outside knowing that I love myself so much. There's nothing that no one can tell me otherwise that can convince me that I'm not him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that great person. We really need to start loving ourselves more.
Proud of themselves.
I think because they know they're failing. I think that most people failing in life know very well they're failing. And it doesn't matter what avatar you decide to absorb or who you decide to be. You can decide to be it, and you know true in your heart if you're giving 100% of your energy towards becoming it or not. It doesn't matter if you want to become a famous musician. Doesn't matter if you want to become a bodybuilder. Doesn't matter if you want to become a pro fighter. Doesn't matter what you want to be. You know in your heart if you're actually trying or not.
This is one thing that, again, as I said, like, how can you not be fascinated by what this man says? Or how can this not motivate you? One thing G Herbo, a rapper I listen to, he said in his song Intuition, he said, either there's two things in life. People asking me where they want to be or why they're not there yet. And there's either two things in life. You either haven't fully committed yourself, or your time hasn't come yet. yo, think about what I just said, and this is exactly what he's saying. Either you're not putting 100% of your effort into your purpose, and not only that, into that goal, into that dream. On this journey that I've been through in life, with my football, with content creation, being a YouTuber, becoming a creator, doing this, like, my mind is absorbed in this. Ever since I was younger, football is something that I could think about. It's something that I could dream about. I could never go a day without thinking about football. I could never go a day without thinking about creating, putting something on YouTube. Like, you have to put your full time, whole heart, soul into this, into what you're doing. And that's what he's saying. You got to put everything, all the chips on the table. No plan B, nothing. You got to put it all into what you're doing.
No plan B and C and D and E and F. The rest of the alphabets, I don't even need them. A was enough for me. Plan Alpha, that was it. that's the alphabet. You understand me? I'm betting on myself.
You're only going to do that if you're fully committing yourself. And I can even say for myself now, as I'm building this life, as I'm absorbed into my dream and into my goals, my time just hasn't come. In 3D reality, the things that I've acquired, they haven't come out to fruition. They've already come out in my mind. I'm already celebrating everything I've achieved, and that's why I'm proud of myself. I'm already proud of myself because I have already seen in my metaverse, in my dimensions of what I've achieved in this life.
Once you get it in your mind, it's already done at a different time in reality.
Of achieving the life of as a top tier male in professional football, in whatever I'm doing. Like, I've already achieved that, but now I'm waiting for reality to catch up to me. So that's what G Herbert is saying. That's what Tate's saying. Either you ain't competing yourself 100% or your time hasn't come yet.
You have to decide what you want to be and try and become it. And a lot of the people who are genuinely unhappy or miserable in their hearts know they're not trying that hard.
Well, and I think they also focus on what everyone else is doing, right or wrong, and then judging outward. And everyone's like focused on this outward reflection of like what that person has and versus what they don't have. And it's all just like this cycle of negativity.
Completely.
And it's just, we found ourselves, especially with social media nowadays, we found ourselves like most people, because maybe they're not mentally strong enough to understand like, oh, wait, I need to create my own value instead of looking outwards and saying, well, fuck what that guy has or fuck that guy because I don't have it. But like, how do you think we fix it? Or can we fix it? And there's another question I want you to try to answer too, is like, can everyone be successful? Do you believe that?
Good question. So firstly, I'll answer, can everyone be successful? I think the world would be a terrible place if everyone had a free mind. You do need the slave minds.
I've heard you say that.
As annoying as they are,
yeah,
you do need the slave minds. You do need the guy who believes that, working the gas station is important and he's good at it. You need him. It's good. You need these people.
Yeah, but what if that guy just doesn't know any better, though?
Good.
Or
this is what we're talking about,
Good,
though.
fine. The world can't all be, mansions in Palm and Dubai. They can't all be that. So successful is all about self-definition, which is what I was saying at the beginning. You have to decide who you want to be. And if you wanted to be Joe Schmo and you pull it off, then you'll be a pretty happy, content person. Decide who you want to be. I think the people who are miserable, it's the gap between their expectations and their reality. That's where the misery lies.
Wow. Listen to this.
My expectations were always enormously high. Even when I was a nobody, I knew I had to be filthy rich and a kickboxer, and I knew I had to be the kind of guy that people gave me.
My expectations were always high. I just dropped a video saying I'm going to be in the World Cup. I'm playing in the next World Cup. My expectations, I expect the best of myself. I expect in whatever I'm doing, I'm going to achieve the best thing possible, and nothing and no one, no circumstances, no matter if people tell me I'm too old, no matter if society's saying this, I don't care.
Hope for the best and expect the best. I don't hope for the best and expect the worst. That's being double-minded. I'm unstable if I'm double-minded. I hope for the best and I expect the best.
Since I was 17, chasing this dream, finding my purpose, seeing how can I be great, how can I retire my parents. But what he's saying is a lot of people live in the slave mind. I'll give you a little example, and he may go on, but I'm going to give you this example, right? I have a job, and maybe people from my job are watching this. I don't think they are, but let's say in the past in my job, right? I'd be sitting at work. This is when I realized this is what Tate is saying. This is the slave mind. This is people not, I'm looking at people when they have their free time at the 8 hours you're at this job, you're watching Netflix. They're watching Netflix, they're playing games on their phone. And sometimes at my work, I'm fascinated because I'm like, as if you're not putting all your time and energy. And that's where I realized I'm different. As if you wouldn't be sitting at that job when you have freedom and you have free time to be focusing all your energy on what you're trying to build. Focus on becoming your own boss, not just coming in and clocking in and out. So I'm like, yes, I'm in the matrix, but I've taken the blue pill. I'm not like everybody else. I'm not going to spend my time at work watching Netflix. Hell, I don't even watch Netflix in my free time. I got to put all my energy and effort into what I'm doing. And that's why when I'm at these works and in the matrix, punching in the clock, I'm like, cool, this clock I'm punching in is an investment into my dreams. At all times, I'm gonna put my energy and effort into building myself, acquiring knowledge, editing, content creation, football, observing, learning things from players. This is what I'm gonna spend all of my time doing. My body may be at work, but my mind, my focus, my vision, everything else is in my life and becoming my own boss. So I don't need to keep punching the clock.
Were you happy at that point?
I know, but I knew I'm basic things. At the age of 15, I knew that if I'm the kind of guy that if I raise my voice, people are going to care. I'm not going to be the guy who starts shouting and everyone thinks it's funny. I know I'm going to be the kind of guy who is genuinely a formidable opponent in all realms of human endeavor. I know I'm going to have money. I know I'm not going to take shit.
Where did
from
that come
nobody.
from, though?
Well, you can't just. Yeah, I know.
I understand what you're saying, because my whole life I felt like there's always more. I know that there's more. Like,
but I think a lot of people have that.
Of course. But the people who are miserable are the people who don't try hard enough to obtain it, because I actually believe, and this is another thing I'll say, I believe the universe is very giving. I think the universe and God himself is very giving. I've yet to meet somebody in all my years who is genuinely giving 100% of themselves day after day, doesn't snake anyone, firm handshake, look you in the eye, doesn't lie to nobody, and tries 100% who doesn't get what they want. I've never seen it. Every single person who doesn't have what they want, there's something in their story that doesn't quite add up.
You see how this is encouraging? You see how this is motivating for someone who is in this process right now? What it tells me is, Eve, keep doing what you're doing, because what you're doing, you're setting in motion of events. You've been doing it ever since you were 10 years old. You've been doing it ever since you were 17. Keep putting 100% of your effort and your time into your goals, into your dreams, and into your purpose, because on the other side of that is magic. The universe is giving.
I've yet to see some guy who, have you ever seen a guy who eats right, trains his ass off, and never misses a gym session, ever not grow? Ever.
Never.
Not what? Not what?
Grow.
Not grow. Not make
ever.
gains.
It's just, that's the way the universe works, right? So if you're truly about it and you're truly trying your absolute best, you're going to do it. And that's what I believe. I believe the universe is extremely giving. So when I meet somebody and they go, I really wanted this and I don't have it, I say, you didn't really want it. You're a liar.
Out of all like the successful people, most successful people in the world, would you say that all of them have like something in common in the sense of like some sort of hardship in their life? It's not.
Well, yeah. I mean, trauma is extremely important. And this actually goes back into answering the first part of your question, which is interesting. There's a study I read about stress. And it was saying that stress has a placebo effect attached to it, because the placebo effect is extremely powerful. So they found some of the most stressed people in the world, and they split them into two groups. And they're all equally stressed. They all have a bunch of cortisol in their blood.
Yeah.
The people who believed that stress was bad for you and that stress can hurt you, and they believed those media articles, were dying earlier. They were having heart attacks and having stress-related illnesses. The people who believe the opposite, who just said, stress is part of being successful. I like stress. When I feel stressed, I do my best. It makes me anxious. It turns my brain on. I like being stressed. Lived longer than average.
Yeah.
The point is, the same drug, how you look at it and how your body anticipates it, how you feel about it, affects the real world results. Which goes back into what you were saying earlier about the jealousy. You're saying people look on social media and they get jealous and it demotivates them. That's because they decide to be demotivated by it. Do you know what happens when I get jealous of somebody? I fucking beat them. If I look at somebody who has something I ain't got, I will take it from them by hook or by crook.
Maybe he's using hyperbole, maybe he's exaggerating as a joke, but see, those are the things where I'm like, that's not my thing. I'm the type of nigga, it's like, if I see someone's doing amazing in my field, my craft, whatever, it's motivation for me. It's like, at the end of the day, I'm not in competition with anyone. I don't need to take, and he's not really saying that, he's saying it more as like, I'm gonna be better than you, and that's a good way to look at it as well. But I'm more, again, I'm my own competition, and I'm always in abundance. I always have an abundance mindset. So it's like, if that's for them, that's for me too. Even better for me too. Even better is coming for me. It's always abundance. There's more than enough to go around. If I don't get a spot in that team and this guy, Joe Small, gets there, something better was coming. Even better, you feel me? And I'm gonna work harder than him. So
I will take it from them by hook or by crook.
Well, when I watch other people on social media and I see someone killing it, like whoever it is, that fires me the fuck up.
I love it. I wish someone could make me jealous. It's hard now. I got everything. I wish I could look at somebody and go, fucker, I'm going to beat you.
Would you say jealousy is the number one, like, because a lot of people reach out to you, right? Would you say that's the number one spark for motivation?
Well, I don't think motivation is a real thing. I don't believe in motivation as a concept. I think discipline is real, and I also think discontentment is real. And I don't think it's possible for anybody to stay in a scenario where they're truly uncomfortable. If you fall asleep on your arm and your arm really starts to hurt, even in the deepest sleep, you're going to wake up and move your arm. If you sit there and your life has been in a rut for 7 years, you are semi-comfortable in that rut. Sure, there's days you're pissed off. Sure, you're semi-annoyed by it. But there's also days where you just play video games, eat pizza, and you're kind of cool with it and it's no big deal. If you were truly unhappy and uncomfortable and discontent with your scenario, you wouldn't be in it.
Very important what he said. A lot of people in life, like you said, they'll be in this situation. They're not where they want to be yet. And maybe it's also patience and time and whatever it is, but maybe they're just programmed. But like you said, you're playing video games, watching YouTube all day, watching content and consuming, and you're just like, you know what, I'm content with this. It's true.
So I don't believe there's anybody who's truly, when I was broke, I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, please understand me. When I was broke, I couldn't sleep.
And it's crazy, like I talked about this so many times. I got a genius mind. Like I was talking to my family, like guys, like I struggle to sleep. I can't sleep, and they're like, maybe you're overthinking. I'm like, no. But I'm not overthinking, because when I think of overthinking, I think of that as doubt. I think of that of overthinking your moves, and no, there is full-on belief when like I'm trying to sleep and I'm just like, no, Eve, how can I be better? How can I have, I got an idea. I'm gonna shoot this video tomorrow. Yes, I'm gonna go, hey, go watch this game, go do this, hey, go hit up this person. Maybe this person can help with it. My mind is always thinking, okay, yes, you do this, this is what's gonna happen. Keep going, I believe in you. Like, I can't even sleep because I'm obsessed with how can I make 3D catch up with my reality quicker. Like, of course I'm patient, and of course I'm gonna do everything it takes to get there, but my mind is always racing. I can't sleep well, and I'm just like, my mom, she's doing night shift, she's gonna come back, and then I see her going to work out, she's tired, she doesn't really want to go to work, she wants to enjoy her life, and I'm like, no, I need to retire, mom, I need to retire, dad, how can we be so it's like I can't sleep. I've had issues, and it affects my football a little bit because I don't get maybe the best 8 hours of sleep, and I'm trying hard on it. But I understand what he's saying, and I feel as a genius mind of myself, even when I have all the wealth, even when the world has caught up to me, I still think I'll have those troubles of sleeping, because my genius mind always wants more. It's always creative, it's always thinking, it's always trying to improve. Like, that's just really the way I'm built. I really feel that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I see myself in that.
These people have Ferraris. I want a fucking Ferrari. I couldn't sleep.
But what were the first steps that you took when you're like, yo, I gotta fucking change my life? What was the first thing you did? So people out there that might be going through it.
But I never had to like change my life, because my life was never wrong, because I always knew what I wanted. And I was always do my best to get it.
See that? I never had to change. Even though maybe he went through years of his life broke, Andrew Tate, he knew what he wanted. So it's not like he was doing the wrong thing. It was just his time hadn't come yet.
I think that's like built within people.
This comes down to self-awareness.
Chess teaches you that if you lose, at some point you made a mistake. It doesn't matter if it's the smallest mistake. It doesn't matter if you just took too long to think to make the right move and you ran out of time on the clock. At some point you fucked up for you to lose that game. It's 100% accountability with no luck. That's what's so important about learning chess. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, you need to, as a man, adopt the mindset that absolutely everything that happens to you is completely and utterly your fault, whether it's good or bad. And most men don't have that. Most men don't have that. When the Matrix was attacking me and they were destroying me, when they're calling up my exes trying to get fake fucking charges on me and put me in jail, when they close my bank accounts and I use $11 million, when they ban me across all social medias and lie about me, when they harass my family, I'm sitting there going, this is my fault. All of this is me. I got here. It's my fault. I'm not going, that was unfair. It was orchestrated. The NGOs worked against me. Because that is not helpful.
So it's accountability.
It's 100% accountability in all things. But also when I go out there and
you know why I really agree with that? Because accountability will always keep you one step ahead. Because you know what, at the end of the day, I fell out with him, this or this happened, it's my fault. Let me take accountability, even though sometimes obviously it's out of your control and things just happen to you. But if you have that stance of, nah, it's my fault, it gives you power. The power's back in your hands. When you start being, but you start blaming other people, you lose your power. And I think that's something to remind ourselves of.
That's me. This is my fault. The car is my fault, and the big house is my fault, and everything that ever goes wrong is my fault.
And the failures.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to take complete and utter accountability for everything. You can't make excuses ever. Yeah. There's never an excuse. And you're right. People try and put things on the outwards on the outside. It's interesting. I remember watching Forrest Gump about 5 years ago. I was on a plane. I can't remember where I was flying. And the beginning of Forrest Gump has a scene in it which I don't think many people actually have ever analyzed or anticipated or understood what the scene means. But when he's sitting on the bench at the beginning, think about Forrest Gump. He's sitting on the bench at the beginning and there's a feather blowing.
You nailed this shit.
Yeah.
And then it lands on him and the movie begins.
Yeah.
What they're saying with that is Forrest is the feather and life has just pushed him all over and put him in all these unusual scenarios. Life has directed him everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what it's saying.
Sure.
And if you're going to be the guy and you're going to allow life to happen to you and you're not going to happen to life, then you're at mercy of the wind. Perhaps it might work out okay, but it might not, right? So you have to be the guy who goes, okay, the wind's blowing in this direction. Fuck them. I'm doing this. You have to come to life. You can't let life come to you, because if you let life come to you, then you're going to be living inside of a matrix and a system which is designed not for you to live your best life.
What he says about that, I remember, these are the crucial years. I'm just about to finish high school, and everyone around me, the society around me is telling me, you need to get good grades, Eve, because if you don't get good grades, you're not going to get a good job. You're going to become a nobody. You need to go to university. This was the pressure around me. Like if you were not taking school seriously, if you were not thinking about university, like people would laugh at you. People used to laugh at me like, this guy's crazy. And I'll never forget, we were doing the exams for my final year of high school, studying. People did this, and I went in that exam and I was just like, I know what I want. Why? Like a few hours before the exam, I was like, why am I even studying this shit? Like, I know where I'm going. This is my plan. When I finish school, I'm gonna head overseas and I'm gonna chase my freaking dreams. I'm not gonna follow what all you guys are saying over here and talking about. Nah, I'm not following. No, I'm not. I don't have fear. I'm not thinking about. But Eve, you need to get a plan B. What about if this doesn't work? Nah, I'm not listening to you, what you've been programmed. What even is a plan B? No. Plan A all the way. I'm putting all my effort and all my time in this. It may not come in the time maybe you're expecting it, or I'm not gonna go in that safe route of earning a $60,000 or $40,000, $50,000 job. You know what I'm saying? Being in debt. Nah, I'm cool, bro. I'm following my path and let's see how it goes. You feel me? But all I know is I'm right.
A system which is designed not for you to live your best life. It's designed for you to comply. And how do you benefit?
How do you think men can build more confidence in deciding their life instead of just letting it be decided for them?
Yeah, so they have to take absolute responsibility, which is the first thing. The second thing, they have to get competence, and competence is going to allow you to have confidence. You're not going to be good at shit if you're bad at shit. You have to be good at things. You're only going to be confident at things if you're good at things. I know what I'm good at and what I'm bad at. So you have to go out there and take risks. You have to make mistakes, and you have to risk it all. And once again, this comes down to competition. I think competition is such an important thing in the masculine world. Yeah. I grew up in the chess world, and I went into the fighting world. It was all extremely competitive. It's competition driven. You can't make excuses. If I sit here and say I lost a fight, cool, you lost the fight. But I lost the fight, but my gloves, when they were wrapped up, my hand was hurting, and then they
excuses.
Bro, you lost, G. Yeah. No one gives a fuck. Like, you have to understand that excuses don't matter. Nobody cares. Life's binary. Winners or losers. And you just have to take absolute responsibility for all of this.
This is crazy. The same thing.
And I think maybe me being in that competition of football, in that competition of I got to be the best player, or I got to do this, or I'm not going to get on the field, whatever the case may be, it's true.
This is crazy. The same thing Volkanovski was talking about when he was we did a pod with him before the UFC thing. It was aired last week, but he was talking the same thing. How he was in a fight, UFC fight, big fight, and he's fighting this guy, and he broke his hand, I think, in the early rounds. And then he talks about coming back to his corner and saying, I broke my hand. And they're like, they didn't respond to him. And then he comes back again after that round that he did well in, and he won the round. He comes back, he says it again. And the guys are like, why do you think we didn't say anything the first time? Like, shut the fuck up and you have to do this, because this isn't going to change. Yep. And people are so caught up when things happen. They're just like,
make excuses.
They go in circles. And they go in circles.
They make excuses and they play victim.
Yes,
that's what I find a lot.
And they go, this is why, this happened to me because of this, because of my childhood, because of my past trauma, because of my life, whatever. Yep. But people are so not taught to look inwards and go towards those things.
Well, you think playing victim is it's an
easy way out.
Yeah, it's a laziness.
It's a laziness. It's an easy way out. It's a good excuse, and it also makes you feel better about yourself. Me and my brother have another thing we do. We do this all the time. If either of us are ever complaining about anything, we shut each other up by saying, do you want therapy? If you don't want therapy, what are you talking about?
Sure.
And the main reason people complain about things is to get a dopamine rush, right? I'm unhappy, but if I sit there and I complain about it and you give me a little bit of sympathy, I feel better.
Yeah.
Right? You get dopamine. That's why they're complaining for dopamine. If someone comes to me and complains about something, the best thing I can do for them, because I'm a philanthropic, nice man, because I'm Mr. Nice, is tell them to get fucked. I don't care. Shut up. Yeah. That's the best thing you can do when you're friends.
He's right. Living with my homies, living with my man, then I could come and this and this. But it's always, what's the solution? That's what I notice. The people that, especially I'm close with, yeah, I may have those moments of you know what I'm saying? Hey, damn, maybe this is happening. And it's that complaining thing, but it's like, we straight away start talking about, but what's the solution? You know what? Fuck it. That's life. I'm gonna leave it up in God. You know what I mean? He's right. Stop. Why we complain? And as I got more mature, I had to start checking myself and being like, Eve, shut up. You woke up this morning. You're drinking clean drinking water. You're waking up in a bed. You live in a great country. You have income that's coming in. What the hell do you have to complain about? Shut up. That's what I remind myself.
Your friend comes and goes, bro, and this girl, and I really miss her. Like, I understand, bro. She ain't coming back. She's fucking next guy. Yeah. Shut up.
You gotta apply that.
So I'm trying to sit here.
He needs that, dude.
What do you want to talk about? It? Do you want therapy, or do you want to go fuck some pussy?
I never do that.
Yeah. People complain. They complain to feel better, and then this ties into who your social circle is. Does your
Bro,
keep going. He needs it.
insane.
Yo, let him talk, bro.
What? This is how he gets all.
A lot of this comes down to your social circle, because there's a whole bunch of guys out there whose friends accept excuses. If your friends will allow you to make excuses, you're going to make excuses. If your family let you make excuses, you're going to make excuses. You're going to complain and feel better. You got to be around killers who don't accept that shit. If me and let's say me and 3 friends, there's 4 of us, and we all decide to do 10,000 push-ups a day, and all of us do them except one, there's no words inside the human language, there's no sentence you could possibly construct, no matter how compendious or concise or how intelligent the man is, that will allow us to forgive him for failing. You failed.
And guys, I haven't even seen this part. I'm watching this with you guys, right? We're watching this podcast together. So like, that is so true. As I said, I come up to the Mandan. When we talk with the Mandan, it's about solutions. It's like, what do we need to do? Like, how can we solve this problem? How can you solve this? All right, cool. This is happening. Leave it in God's hands. But what can you do? You know what I'm saying? It's always a solution. You feel me? Even if a nigga may resonate, he may feel, all right, cool. Yeah, I guess you, bro. But what's the solution?
Failed. Oh, but I was busy, dada. We did them. You're a bitch. Shut up. We don't accept excuses. That is it.
It's true.
So next day he's gonna go, well, they ain't gonna listen to my bullshit. I better just fucking do.
How do
so
you,
that's the bottom line.
It's all who you surround yourself with.
Yeah,
It's so
100%.
cliche, but it's so true.
Facts. But there was a point where you were the most searched guy on Google, right?
Yeah.
Was there ever a point where you were like, I'm getting content, or do you always like? How do you strive for more?
Bro, that's innate inside of me.
We talked about this. You're the most viral sensation in the shortest amount of time, I think, of all time.
Of all time.
On the way over, we were talking about that.
How do you fucking stay motivated? When you're
I
like,
haven't
I'm the
missed
man?
a day of work in 10 years. I've never had a day off. Maybe I've had days where I've gone driving in the supercars and I've only done 2 hours work instead of 8 hours. I've never had a day where I thought, fuck it, I'm not gonna work. Never once ever. My screen time on my phone is 9 hours a day every fucking day. I do not miss a day of work ever. If I'm the most viral Googled man on the earth, it does not change a fucking thing.
Barely even spend time consuming Instagram, TikTok. It's only about posting my things, but that's what he's saying. It's always that mindset of working. How can I keep putting myself out there? How can I keep marketing myself? And that's gotten better the more I found my purpose, the more I found my passion and my drive into the thing I love doing. I'm always like, my mind's always going. I'm always working. You feel me?
Earth must be conquered. The matrix must be attacked and shattered. I do not stop. I will not quit. I will not surrender. I am not that person. I have zero interest in rest or respite. It's bullshit for cowards. Even the idea of resting aggravates my mind. So what I'm supposed to do this? Wait, let me practice.
Sure.
Yeah, that sucks.
No, but is there?
That sucks.
Bro, I got shit to do. Like, give me. I can't even contemplate the idea. People say to me, "If I had your money, Tate, I just go chill." That's why you'll never have my money, dummy.
Well, here's
because you
my
just want to go
question
do
for that,
nothing.
though.
I don't want to do nothing. I want to do shit.
Do you have goals that you like want to accomplish that you haven't yet accomplished?
I don't even have goals. I don't even write down goals as such. I just do the right thing every single day, and it compounds and it's momentum. Like if I were to go in the gym and say I want to, I mean, sure, maybe goals are good. I don't know. Everyone has different methods, but I don't go in the gym going, I want to get this strong by this date. That I just go, I'll go to the gym and I just fucking train as hard as I possibly can. And the next day I just go in the gym and train as hard as I possibly can. I just do what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. Like I said earlier, the universe is absolutely and utterly extremely giving. If you're the guy who does what he's supposed to do on time every fucking day, and you don't quit, you don't give up, and you just continue to do it, they'll give you what you want. I've never seen anyone fail that way. I've never seen anyone go, I really want it, so I'm gonna go get it, and then fail. Never. I've never seen anyone. So when someone goes, I really want it and I ain't got it, they're a fucking liar. They're all liars.
How are you so good? He has an answer for every question we ask him.
Of course, he's smart.
How?
So here's the thing.
How do you have that?
Because he's smart.
That's
every fucking question we throw to me is a fucking genius answer. I don't understand.
I got another question. So like, I think people just fail to, I don't know, allow it to happen, right? Like, we're talking about this idea of accomplishing something, right? I think what happens is people quit before they get there, right? So you obviously you were always Andrew Tate, but you weren't Andrew Tate as we know him today, right? And so people see someone's success and they go, oh man, why do you think people quit before? Because look at being able to succeed even when you do everything right. I know I felt ways in my life when I did everything right. I did everything right, and I still got shit on, and I still got shit on, and I still had setbacks, but I just kept going, right? Have you ever in your life felt at a point where you felt like, damn, I'm getting shit on, even though I know that in my heart I'm doing the right things?
Oh yeah.
What were those like?
Yeah, completely. And I mean, like, I've lost fights or something, and you're like, I fucking trained so fucking hard, and I was winning every round, and I just got caught. And like, there's times where you feel like shit completely.
What about taking it?
That's exactly what I just said earlier. Either your time hasn't come, or you haven't committed yourself fully. Like, people stop before. Like, I'm still on that journey, setbacks after setbacks after setbacks. Man, I got a story. Like, they're gonna make movies about me, but I know that feeling. My parents, my people close to me can know what I'm talking about, but I ain't never finna stop. That's what Nipsey said too.